back to Her Standards. This is the show that highlights stories of trailblazing women. And today, we are very excited to have Dr. Kizzie Shako in the building. We are talking about everything forensics and quite a lot more that she does related to human rights, activism, and so much more. So before we took a break, we were just delving deep into, who she is and what she does in terms of her career. So we just want to pick it up from there. Dr. Kizzie,
yes.
So much about forensics. What else in forensics do you do?
So aside from conducting forensic medical examinations for the living injured, I am also very busy or engaged in training, capacity building of stakeholders. So that's medical personnel, police officers, lawyers, prosecutors, just kind of advocacy of little sensitizations here and there, or in-depth training, depending on who the audience is. I also do a lot of webinars and just to highlight the key areas that are usually not picked up on. So usually my trainings are based on the role of forensics in management of assault and sexual violence cases and child abuse. Because just to inform the different people, the public, whoever it is, what it is they need to know to ensure that our case carries as much weight as possible. Yeah, because sometimes we forget things or we may not know something, so that's basically what I do. I'm also involved in, I'm a contributing author when it comes to development of some policies, guidelines, manuals, standard operating procedures for different state agencies. And then, of course, I do advocacy as Vunja Kimya. I use Vunja Kimya to highlight more issues in a more kind of personal level, less serious, more intimate kind of,
What inspired you to start Vunja Kimya?
So what happened was this.
Yeah.
So I was just conducting my normal duties at work and noticing how there's so much physical child abuse, child sexual abuse, domestic violence cases. I was really shocked by the number. I'm examining a lot of murder cases, and many of them it's a murder of a spouse. Usually, most times it's the suspect, unfortunately, many times were males, and the deceased is the female. But there are times it would actually be the other way around, but there's a history of self-defense and all that. And you could see the different injuries at different stages of healing. Sometimes you just have, just different cases, child abuse resulting in a fatality. And so I started asking myself, is anyone collecting this information? Because do people understand that, of course, if you leave your child with a stranger, you're leaving them in danger. Perhaps you should not do that, do something else. So I was coming across situations where people had sustained such severe injuries or horrible things had happened to them, and I realized it was out of ignorance. And so this is what prompted me to start writing, to try and educate or create awareness on the kinds of scenarios to avoid as much as possible, or what you need to do in the event that you find yourself in this situation. I was particularly keen on reporting child abuse because children are vulnerable. They are not able to speak for themselves. So if you're able to help a child who needs rescue, then you should help a child who needs rescue. And so recognize, respond, and report. That was the tagline. So those are just a few of the things I do.
And how has that been received? How is the reception so far?
It's very good, actually. Well, with everything there's good and bad, but I focus on the good, and I like it. My motto for a long time has been save just one. So if just one person is going to receive information and that one person, it will change their lives, then it makes it worth it for me.
Talking of child abuse, a few days ago, or more so regularly, I receive a lot of forwards of videos of children who are being abused, children who are being molested. And looking at the job that you do, actually, sometimes you interact with them live. It's live interaction. It's not coming from the phone. But sometimes I actually ask myself, because I feel like I need to do something about it. So ask myself, what can I do? What is it that people can do about when they encounter incidences of child abuse? What do we do with those videos? What do we do with the call for help?
Yeah, so that's a very good question actually, because what we see a lot is uploads on Facebook, Twitter, everywhere, and you have children's faces visible,
especially
and all
that bit.
Traumatic things happening to them, and for some people it's actually traumatizing also to watch this again. What can be done? There's the Communications Authority of Kenya. It's easy to find, it's online. There's a section there's a section where you can report abuse, and that's where you should take your videos. Don't upload them onto the public space, just put it there, because you don't want to expose children to further stigma, shame and humiliation. And also the public doesn't really need to know like that. They can read about it later, but not a video just sent up into the public space, online space. So it can be uploaded onto the site. It's very easy. You just scroll down and you'll find it.
Communications Authority of Kenya.
Yes.
I think we have the information right now on the scroll button. Just have a look. If you have encountered any video of a child facing any form of abuse, please do not circulate that video. Send it direct to Communications Authority and they'll be able to do something about it. I think it's about time we stopped doing the forward. Sometimes it's humiliating, especially for the child, when we show their faces. Now this has standards, and if you want to interact with us, we're available across all social media platforms at KTN Home, or you can talk to me at Queenie Mbori on Facebook and Instagram, and Queenie Saina on Twitter. We also have a Facebook page for Queenie Mbori where you can catch up with all current episodes and past episodes of this amazing show. So back to you, Dr. Kizzie.
Yes, fine, no problem. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry about that. Now, still on child abuse, there's something I picked somewhere. You wrote that we cannot leave our children. We should not leave our children with people we do not trust, even if they are our spouses.
Sometimes, sometimes I find, you know, that's you know, sometimes you find a situation where a woman, let's say a couple, is in a very toxic relationship where there is physical abuse, and so I find sometimes women who've run away and left their children in the home where they themselves could not stay. So what I say is, don't leave your children behind. If it's not safe for you, it's not safe for them. Most likely not safe for them. So don't be quick to just take off, unless, of course, if your life is on the line, then that can be difficult. But you should take them with you as much as possible. If it's an environment that is violent and life-threatening, and even a hostile one, just find a way to create an environment for children that is conducive for their development. And sometimes this may need intervention with the children's office, even going to court, wazee to come and meet. I find that usually doesn't work, but you never know, you can try. But don't stay there too long, because it's dangerous for children to grow up like that.
Yeah, you know, you're making a lot of sense, because we've seen in media instances where a father or a mother has, they're abusive towards each other, they end up murdering one person, murders the other, and then they end up killing the children.
Yes. So
we've seen that a lot, actually.
We've seen that a lot, and those kinds of situations, there's a lot of psychological and psychiatric intervention required. Usually that could possibly have even been a psychotic episode that took place, that causes just, you know, suicide, homicide taking place at the same time. But I always tell people, when you see that this is not going the right way, just get out. Get out, think about things when you're separated, and when you can think clearly and with the right kind of support system around you. And do it for the children, if nothing else.
You know, in Kenya, we have seen some of the, we've seen cases where, you know, as members of the public or people watching from a distance, we think that the evidence is outright. Everything is clear, and a perpetrator will be captured and justice will be done. But then when these cases hit the courts, and then what happens is exactly what we don't expect. Somebody is released on bond, or the case is dismissed for lack of evidence. That process of collecting evidence, especially for domestic abuse, there's this specific document called the P3 form, which is shrouded in a lot of mystery. Mara, you need to pay for it. Mara, you don't need to pay for it. Mara, you have to go to hospital first. In the event that, say, you are abused, you need to go to hospital first.
Yes.
And then come to the police station, or the other way around. What is the right way? Where do we start? Yeah.
It's a very, like you say, it's a very mysterious, controversial, convoluted kind of process. But so you've said many things. Basically, if you are a victim of domestic violence, let's say intimate partner violence, or any violence in a home, the best thing to do is to, every time, even if it's something small, you get medical attention for that. The first step should always be a hospital, because that's where the injuries will be documented, and you'll have a medical report to work with. And then that report is taken to a police station. Please report it.
Go with the medical report.
Go with the medical report, and please report it.
What is the grace period? Do we have 72 hours? As long as?
I think several years.
Several years.
But the sooner the better. Report it, get that OB number. Keep it. If you don't want to proceed immediately, then you want to think or seek further attention, advice, or information, do your research, at least you have that with you. Do not throw it away. Many people do this, they throw it away.
These days it's very simple. Just take a screenshot and email yourself.
That's what now see, for you that's obvious. For many it's not.
It's not. Okay.
So say that again. Take a photo
and email it yourself. Yeah.
That way it's always there. Always there.
Yeah. You can even
many
throw it
people
in your
throw
drive.
them. I understand this is because you may not want to be caught with it, because this may lead to more violence. So that's an option, what you just said. And then the police will then issue you with a P3 form, which is also known as a Kenya Police Medical Report Form. It's used. Issuance, it says there on the P3, issuance of this form is free of charge. Even completion of this form, according to our law, should be free of charge. But it is free, but some people charge.
It is free, in quotes.
Yes, some people charge. This is because the cost of actually filling it, conducting an assessment, filling it, going to court is not captured. And so this is why there's so much controversy about it, but it's a free service.
It's a free service.
Yes. And then after that is filled, you just, you take the P3 that's issued from the police to the hospital, again, usually a public medical facility. They'll document the injuries there, assess the degree of injury, then you take it back to the police so that a police case can be initiated. It goes into the file and it will be produced in court, presented to the prosecution rather.
In the event of SGBV,
the process is the same.
We go to hospital first?
Please go to hospital first, because...
Please say that again.
Please go to hospital first, immediately, as immediately is. That is when you need to go to hospital. Because with sexual offences, what's unique about them is there is an exchange of body fluids, trace evidence, and all these things that from the minute it happens is just being shed and lost. So within a number of hours, there'll be nothing to collect. Also, your mental state should be captured. So the sooner you go, the better. I know it is harder, easier said than done, but it's always the best thing to do. So for two reasons: to get your medical intervention, so your psychological first aid, and then to get your treatment to avoid, HIV medication, so post-exposure prophylaxis, sexually transmitted infection prophylaxis, emergency contraceptives. Yes, and other prophylactic medications. And the other thing, the second thing, is for forensic evidence collection. So this is where, depending on what exactly happened, you'll have your high vaginal swabs collected, maybe your rectal swabs, anal swabs, whatever it is. The history will guide the process. There's no set way of doing it. It depends on what took place. This history will be documented. The evidence will be documented, whatever specimens are collected and stored, and they should be handed over to a police officer investigating your case, and that will be assigned at a police station. When you take your medical report to the police, they will then do all that part for you. And then they come collect the specimen and take to the government chemist lab. So you don't handle it yourself because this is now evidence.
It's evidence.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
We'll
I know.
draw a poster.
We need to do a poster. We need to
Yes.
break it down. We need to do like an infographic.
Infographic. That's the word.
Yes.
Yes.
So that it's clear and to the point, because I know many people actually don't know where to start.
Yes.
They've been abused. They are mentally unstable. They don't even know where to start. They go to the police station. Sometimes they are harassed for it.
Yeah, I've heard.
I know. We're about to end, unfortunately.
It's okay, no problem.
Now, you do quite a lot. You blog, you are a forensic practitioner, you also engage in human rights, activism and all of that. At home, I know you have two adorable children.
Yes.
And you've also talked elaborately about self-care. Why is that important for you, and what do you do to unwind and just to ground yourself and pull yourself back together? No, one more question. Do you go for counseling? How do you deal with all of that put together? Yeah.
So after a few years in that department dealing with the living injured every day, because it was a daily thing. So every day you're seeing your 30, 40 or 100 patients. Day in, day out, no processing it. You just have to suck it up, and yeah, it was a very, it took a toll on me after some time. And so I also managed to get, I sought psychotherapy from those who are willing to help me, which was, I'm so grateful for them. And then after some time, I just kind of reduced the contact time with these traumatic cases. I remember some of the really nasty cases were like boys who were sodomized, abducted and sodomized while they were going to look for their moms who had left them alone at home. Those were so heartbreaking. I struggled to get over that. So, so time away is important. You need to take breaks. If you're in a sector like this, you need to take breaks. You need regular therapy. It should be even monthly or bi-monthly. It should be, you need to take time to do fun things. Please have fun.
For example.
Whatever is fun for you. Go, travel, take time out, switch off your phone and watch movies for the whole weekend. Spend time with your family. Keep in touch with your friends, because I actually isolated myself completely at some point. And when you feel that you're beginning to become like that, you're isolating yourself, you feel you're stressed, you have palpitations, you're constantly feeling overwhelmed, it's time to get help. That's what it means. I didn't know that. I knew when it was too late, and I actually suffered burnout. So I teach a lot on this, even when I'm training others, that you need to take time for yourself, because you may not even recover properly from such an incident. So do what is fun. Don't lose sight of what really matters in life. Don't be too overwhelmed with work. Yeah, spend time with your family and friends and loved ones. So that's what I do for self-care.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Kizzie.
Thank you for having me.
The second name is very difficult for me to pronounce because of where I come from. I might just say Shako. I'm trying to avoid that. So thank you so much for your time. The information you've given us, oh my God. I don't know, I hope you have benefited from this discussion. This has been her standards. We are very excited to have hosted Dr. Kizzie Shako, who is a forensic practitioner. She has done quite a lot, and she's also very much involved in human rights activism, especially for women and children. This conversation, as usual, we say cannot end here. 1 hour is not enough to talk about some of the issues that affect us squarely as women. And therefore, you can catch up with us on social media at KTN Home across all platforms, or talk to me at Queenie Mbori, Facebook and Instagram, or Queenie Saina on Twitter. We also have a Facebook page for Quinta Mbori. Talk to us, connect with us, like us, and be sure to catch up with all the previous episodes and the activities that you're not able to watch on this show. Now, to more good news, you can also catch us every Tuesday, very early in the morning, 7 to 8 a.m. only on KTN Home. Well, it has been her standards. My name is Queen Mbori. I'm always excited to bring you stories of women and gender equality and women empowerment. Till next time, see you, take care of yourself, and bye for now. Woman of the Week is Mercy Kipchumba. Mercy Kipchumba is the winner of the 3rd edition of the Eldoret City Marathon held on Sunday, 6th June 2021 in Uasin Gishu County. Kipchumba, who won the race in 2 hours, 28 minutes and 10 seconds, took control of the race in the 4th lap when she went into the lead and gained a commanding 100-meter advantage that remained unchallenged to the end. She did not expect to win, particularly after seeing the star-studded list of participants, but she was encouraged to participate and try to post a good time to attract international interest. Valerie Gemeli Ayabei was the winner of Eldoret City Marathon's 2nd edition in 2019, winning the race at 2 hours, 27 minutes and 17 seconds. In the same year, she set a new record of 2 hours, 19 minutes and 10 seconds in the Frankfurt Marathon. In 2018, she won the Beijing Marathon with a time of 2 hours, 21 minutes and 38 seconds.